Hey guys,
Hey everybody.
today is day 14 of the Halloween movie challenge, and tonight we watched Annabelle Creation. Um, this one was a scary movie.
Hmm.
This was a really good scary movie. Um,
I wouldn't know. I had my eyes blocked half the time.
yeah, but this was good. This is the fourth movie that we've seen in this series, if you will, and they have not disappointed. They've all been good. Um, with this one, the whole time I was watching this movie, I kept thinking about the other Annabelle movie, just
Hmm.
Annabelle, and remembering how that one kind of played out and thinking how is this one going to possibly tie into that.
Yep.
And they did a great job of tying that in at the end. But before we get to the end, um, I guess we should probably just talk about the beginning of the movie. You know, starts off, it's a nice little family,
Yeah.
a husband and wife and a daughter, and the husband is a doll builder. He creates toys, and they're church going people, and unfortunately there's an accident. They have a flat tire. He's changing the tire on a road. Truck's coming down, and the little girl, who I believe her name was Annabelle actually,
Yep.
and
A
she,
screw falls and she goes to grab it.
yeah, well, one of the lug
The
nuts,
bolts.
yeah,
Yeah.
on the tire, and she leans forward right as to pick it up right as a truck's coming by, and that scene right there, it actually looked really real. Like they did
Yeah.
a good job making it look like the truck actually hit the little girl, and you're kind of like, wow, I can't believe I just saw that type
Yep.
of
I
thing.
kind of like cringed.
Yeah, and then the movie goes 12 years later, and the parents open up their home to a nun and six
Six.
yeah,
Yeah.
six of them, six girls that are orphans
Yeah.
and looking for homes, and
So it's like a temporary orphanage they're doing.
yeah,
Um.
so that way because there's nowhere else for them to go,
Yeah.
so they did this to kind of help them out and stuff, and then obviously they get to the house, and that's when stuff hits the fan. We have one of the little girls. She has like a limp.
Janice.
Yeah, Janice, because she can't. She had what was it, an accident or something? She can't really
Yeah, it
use
was
her
an
right
accident.
leg, and yeah, then she comes. It's typical. It starts off typical horror movie. That they're in the house. They hear noises. Shadows, stuff like that.
But the thing is that everything was okay until that little girl,
Janice
Janice, went into the room, went
into
into the
Annabelle's.
Annabelle's
Yeah.
room, and she started going through things. And if you watch it, you'll notice she goes into the dollhouse, and she opens one of the doors, and there's a key in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a key, and she sees the key, and coincidentally, the light is shining on the other side of the room where you can put the key in.
Like a hidden passage,
Yes.
or whatever, hidden room.
So she opens it, and we didn't understand what it was at first. It just looked like a room, a little, like literally a little closet.
I thought it was newspaper.
That's what. Yeah,
I
that's what I was just
thought it
gonna
was
say.
newspaper along the
We
walls.
didn't know until they further explained it at, towards the end. We thought it was just newspaper
Yeah.
all around the wall. But really it's the doll sitting in a chair
And it's pages from the Bible.
in a room filled with pages of the Bible.
Yeah. And
That's when stuff really...
that's when it goes. But the thing is, even before she lets the doll out, there was already, like you said, there was already a light on in that room, like indicating where the secret spot was.
Yeah.
She would have never found that. It was a well hidden spot.
Yeah.
And like the dollhouse had the dollhouse had the clue in there, like, you know what I mean, like little things like that. And there was like the game where there was like the folded up pieces of paper that
Yep.
the Annabelle used to play with her father, of like almost like a hide and seek kind of game.
Yeah, so
that was
that's
already
true.
starting to happen
It's still,
too.
it already started, but
Yeah,
things really hit the
Yeah,
fan when she went into that door.
yeah, and it This movie definitely was scarier. There was definitely more pop out things and more like in your face type of horror. Like this was, I almost felt like this was like a slasher. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mixed with paranormal. It was. I loved it. This one might have been my favorite one.
Well, I'll be on. Like I said, I was not lying in the beginning. When I say a majority of the movie, I was blocking my eyes. I legitimately was.
Yeah, you
Um,
really don't like the whole like scary faces
I
and
don't,
stuff too.
and I will say it again. This is probably the fourth video I'm saying it in, so please forgive me. But I do not like horror movies. I can deal with some of them. I don't like the whole paranormal horror movies. So,
Yeah.
but this one was good. I'll admit, it was very, very good. Especially when we get to talking about the end.
Yeah, which we'll get to in a minute.
Yeah, we'll get to tell you some parts that I liked and he liked, but I don't like them. And this movie, you were saying was scary. This is probably the scariest movie I've ever seen.
Well, I knew it was going to be good from the moment. Like I said, first it was that the accident in the beginning that looked real. It was really realistic.
I didn't like how realistic that was.
Yeah, it looked really realistic. So they did a good job with that. But then the other thing too is when the doll first shows up, or like one of the first times she shows up, there's another little girl that's playing hide and seek. She finds a storage area kind of like under the steps, and when she goes in there, it's of course it's really dark, and there's the doll.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that was creepy was that the doll's just sitting there, and it's the traditional like build up, and then the doll gets pulled back like really quick and
Yeah.
loud, and that kind of sets the tone right there. So that was awesome. I thought that was a cool little part right there. Let me see.
Another creepy part was she was the little girl. What was her name? It was the
You
two
can't
girls that
ask
were
me. I'm
best
horrible with
friends.
names.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember
But
anybody's
one of
name.
the little girls were running. She was running from whatever it was, the demonic presence.
Yeah.
And she was running through the house. She ran into her bedroom and went onto the bed. And the mistake they all do is they look over the side.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And all of a sudden you see it's down the side of the bed, the doll. But it's
Yeah.
funny because the doll's not doing anything, but these like black creature hands come up, and it's just like,
And they pull.
ugh.
Yeah, because that's the thing that they kind of established is that the doll is just for whatever reason attracts these spirits, these
They're
demons.
linked to it.
But the thing is that they did a great job in this movie because, like when the mom when we finally get to see the mom 12 years later, because she had an accident, so she's kind of not in the movie a majority of it,
Mm-hmm.
but she's there. And like there was that scare where the two older girls are under the blankets,
Yep.
and then all of a sudden like the white mask face
Mm-hmm.
pops up. That was a nice creepy part right there. But anyway, when it gets to the mother, when we finally do hear what she has to say, she connects a lot of the dots, because up until this point, if you had seen the other Annabelle movie, you're still kind of like, like I know for me, I was thinking, well, the daughter's name's Annabelle, but she was a little girl. She was nice. Like,
Yeah.
why is she possessing the doll and being mean and stuff? And it's not her. It's
not. They were using
a
the
demonic
little girl.
force. Yeah.
Yep. The demonic force was using the little girl to manipulate the couple.
Yeah. Like the little girl wasn't even actually there
No.
because
At first she was. Remember what the wife said? At first it was her playing and whatever, but then all of a sudden it started turning like really, really dark.
yeah, I'm not 100% sure, because I remember the mom saying that it started off small.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She said
Yeah.
it started off small, not saying that it was her. I think it was just the demon kept asking to possess the doll.
Yeah.
But
Take place
but
inside
obviously
it,
she didn't
yeah.
say the demon. It was the daughter, or she thought it was the daughter. But then you have that scene where the mom sees the little girl run by,
Yep.
and then she's peeking through the mirror, and it's not her face. It's like
Yep.
a demon face. And that was another part that they did that was really cool too, was that the little girl's asking for help, looking out the window, and then when she turns around towards the camera, it's the demon's face.
Yep.
And that was creepy. You know what I mean? And they did a good job with stuff like that. And the but going back to the story, the mom says that they didn't know. They thought it was the daughter, so they allowed it to possess the doll. And then once they did, that's when things really got bad. And the demon, some kind of like almost kind of reminded me of like the Crooked Man, kind of a little bit from like The Conjuring too. But it's anyway, it's a big tall demon, but it always made the shape or the form of the little girl. Because the one time when the mom goes up to her with the cross, it's the little girl, and then it transforms into the big demon thing, and it blinds her eye. It rips her eye out or something.
Yeah, like clawed the side of her face.
Yeah.
And ripped her eye out.
Right, and then they seal the doll in that room that we were talking about earlier,
Yeah, they
and
blessed
everything.
it
Yeah,
with all
the priest comes and
Bible
blesses
pages.
it.
Yep.
Yep, and that's kind of what. That's why it was quiet for like 12 years, so they thought everything was fine, and it wasn't. Apparently, the demon was waiting for these little girls, and the cool thing about it was. Another cool thing about it was they didn't just have like all the other movies. It's not just that one thing that we focus on. Like the Annabelle doll wasn't the only focus. We had like that scarecrow part where that one of the older ones goes into the barn.
Yep.
And the scarecrow thing's coming alive. It's still, I think it's the same demon, but I'm not 100% sure because at that part, the scarecrow, and there's a demon in that's like almost like using the scarecrow to scare the oldest, but
it's also tormenting the other girl.
Yeah, because the other one is
house.
already possessed at that point. The one that can't really walk that well, Janice, I think you said her name was.
Yeah.
She becomes possessed, and while she's possessed, that other thing happens in the barn. So I don't know if there's two of them or if it's just one that can spread its powers. I don't really know, but that was cool. And the great thing about Janice being possessed is the way the movie ends up ending is she disappears. We don't see her. The cops get there. They see the doll. They see the rest of the family. I mean, not the family. I'm sorry. The orphan girls and the nun and the priest. And the priest ends up saying that the evil spirit's gone. It's just a doll now. There's nothing evil about it anymore. So
there's actually a hole in the
where the girl Janice ended up coming out of, and you're sitting there thinking like, okay, so how does this movie end? And they ended it, in my opinion, perfectly, because they ended it with her being adopted by a couple. And the couple asks her what's her name, and she says Annabelle. And if you guys remember the first Annabelle movie, the daughter of that couple was called Annabelle.
Yep.
So, and they actually show you like a cool a scene on like a mantle where you see her as a little girl with the parents. Then you see her grow. She's a little bit older, maybe like 16, 17 years old. Then she's even older, like maybe like 20. And you can see she starts changing into the other actress. And then after that, it then goes straight to the couples lying in bed. They sit up because they hear something, and then the father gets up. He tells the wife to call the police. He's just gonna go look, and then as soon as he goes and looks, she comes out along with the boyfriend. They kill him, and then they attack the mom.
It's funny, that was your favorite part in the first movie.
What, in the beginning there?
That window part.
That window part, yeah. So pretty much what it is, this movie ends with that beginning of the first Annabelle movie looking through the window, because after the mom screams, it comes back through the window to the actors from the previous movie, and then it cuts after after she wakes up her boyfriend or husband, and he comes outside to see what happened, and then it would continue on with the other movie. So you actually could watch this one first, and then watch Annabelle, because right where this one ends, you would then play Annabelle, and it would pretty much be the beginning of that, where it would be like them be attacked. She sees the doll, she loves the doll, blah blah blah. So they did a really nice job tying that in. I actually really, really, liked that.
I liked it too.
Because a lot of movies will either because a lot of movies will either ignore it, or they'll just like half butt it or whatever. I thought that was great because it tied both films together perfectly. And there's also a part in this movie where they're looking at a photo of the 3 nuns or 4 nuns,
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
you don't see it, but the guy that's the father from, while he's still alive, he points to a dark corner and says, "Who's this nun?" And he tilts the picture enough so we can see it, and the nun that's
Very
there, it's
faintly.
very faintly, she's in the background, you can't really see her, and the other nun says, "I'm not familiar with her," and right there it's hinting at, once again, the upcoming Nun movie.
Yep.
Or, well, upcoming at that point, because this was 2017 and the Nun came out in 2018. So I'm looking forward to watching the Nun now, because each movie we've seen has just gotten better and better, and they do a good job tying the stories together, hinting at other things. You get great scares, great, like, I don't know, I've enjoyed all of them so far. So I know we're going to take a break before we watch the Nun, because this one freaked you out a lot. But even this one even had me on my toes more than the other ones, because the other ones were really good, but this one definitely had me on my toes more. I thought there was a lot of great parts. So I highly, highly recommend this one. If you guys haven't seen this one yet, highly recommend it. But
I recommend it to anyone that likes these kinds of movies.
Yeah. Yeah, this was a good one. But yeah, that's it for me. You have anything you want to add?
No, it was a good movie. Like I said, yes, it scared the living daylights out of me. But I do agree. I like how they tied it together. But a majority of the movie, I was covering my face.
Yeah, I know.
It was a very good movie. I do recommend it if you can deal with scary movies like that. If you're not such a baby like I am, but I liked how they tied it into the first one. That was really, really neat, especially the end of the movie. Like he was saying with the scene with the husband and wife, that was really cool how they tied it in.
The last name was the Hills, right? I believe it was.
Higgins,
that's it, yeah. So, yeah, that was awesome. And like I said, this one definitely, they went with a more like slasher dash, spiritual movie. And definitely faster paced than the other ones.
Yep.
And that was okay. I enjoyed it. This one was a little bit longer too. I think it was an hour and 40 minutes, 45 minutes, something like that.
Yeah, this one was longer.
So this one was longer. But all right. I mean, that's it from us, guys. Thank you very much for watching our video.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate it. And please, like we always say, leave a comment if you have another video that you feel like you want us to review. Let us know in the comments, and so you don't miss any of our videos. Hit the little bell notification.
Yep, and don't forget to like, guys.
Yeah, like, subscribe, and comment.
Yep, thank you, guys.
Thanks. Have a good night.